If you love silver stacking as much as I do, and you like to be updated on a daily basis of not only what silver's price is doing, but also the events affecting its price, well, you've come to the right place. Hopefully, my passion will earn your subscription as we approach 100,000 subscribers. I'll be giving away silver to 2 lucky subscribers, and I'll be announcing the winners' names while jumping out of an airplane, skydiving, for this historic event. I tried to think of the most entertaining and epic way to do a giveaway video, and unfortunately, this is what I came up with. But for you guys, obviously, I'm willing to do anything. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. There's truly no wrong way to stack silver. At least you're transferring fake money into real money. But there are smarter ways. There's different types of silver that may fit your stack better compared to someone else. That's why when I'm talking about silver or strategies or different types of coins or bars or rounds, I have to remember everyone has different financial situations, has more or less silver than the other person, started stacking earlier. Maybe someone's younger and still has 30, 40 years they're going to be stacking. Maybe someone else is already retired and has a different financial situation or will be selling at different time frames. Maybe someone bought when silver was $10 in March of 2020 and another person started $30 in February 2021. So their average dollar per ounce ratio is different than the other person. So there's so many different variables. So there's really no wrong way as long as you're stacking, but also trying to compare your stack or your strategy to someone else will also never work. And that's why I always think it's pretty funny when someone is commenting saying that someone else is stacking wrong or throwing their judgment, because you have no idea that person's situation. What works for me might not work for you and vice versa. On that note, I wanted to talk about bars. I wanted to talk about some core silver stacking basics, get back to my roots a little bit. I've been talking a lot about, economics, geopolitical stuff, the fundamentals of supply and demand, but I haven't really been mentioning just silver stacking lately. And that's the roots where I started from for years. Bullion versus numismatics. What's the best silver to stack in 2020? Coins versus bars. Junk silver, the benefits of fractional silver. What's the best type of silver for a long hauler? Is quick flipping a good idea? What's the best way to find semi-numismatic coins or determine their value? There's so many different things that I've talked about over the years that I really don't touch base on much. But as I've been working on my book lately, I'm in the chapter of talking about strategies, and it really brought back that love for all the different types of ways to stack this. And your strategy will change as time goes on. I mean, right now, the number one rule that silver stackers say is buy what you like, because at the end of the day, at least you have something that you enjoy regardless of the price. Yes, you could look at this as an investment or a way to preserve your wealth, but also have fun with it. You're still at least putting fake money into real money. But in terms of strategizing, I want to look at this. Let's look at this in terms of an investment or even just a way to preserve your wealth. We can look at this both ways, because listen carefully what I'm about to say. It's called a silver stacking strategy for a reason. We are strategizing. There's a big difference between gambling and investing. Gamblers throw money at the wall and hope it sticks with the odds highly against them. And that's it. Investors make strategic decisions based off information. See, we take the information and tweak the odds in our favor. So there's a much higher chance of succeeding because we're not just going off hope. We take evidence. We look at silver's core value, why it's undervalued right now. Will that undervalued narrative start to shine and silver's true value start to grow, and what factors would have to overcome for that to actually happen? And is it possible? Is it realistic? Is the point of silver stacking even to try to make quote unquote money in fiat terms or capitalize? Or is that the whole point itself? Silver is wealth. You see what I'm going? So I want to ask you guys a question. What is your strategy right now? Do you even have a strategy, or are you just like aimlessly buying? Because, and I ask this for several different reasons. One, because you have to be able to have a vision what your or the reason you're stacking silver, and that will determine the type of silver that you should be stacking. For example, if you are someone who is a prepper that is looking at this as more of a way, maybe not even just like doomsday apocalyptic prepper, but someone who's, they have ammo, food, water, you want some silver for maybe trading or bartering, that prepping, you're going to be stacking a completely different type of silver than someone who maybe believes in the economy more, isn't really a prepper, but they're looking at this as an investment, maybe to add some capital and invest it back into something else, or using their fund, their extra capital from real estate and putting into this and maybe transferring it to something else. Those two people will be buying completely different types of silver. There might be some overlapping, but those two people's perspectives or their opinions on what's going to happen in the economy is going to determine the types of silver they buy. That's why I ask you, do you think in 5 or 10 years the dollar will still be here and things? Because if not, then you should be going this route. And if so, then you could go a different route. But you have to know this stuff. You have to think about this. Before I even buy a single ounce of silver that I'm looking at, I think about how I'll be able to sell that ounce. That has saved me from a lot of bad decision making, or buying a lot of coins that I shouldn't have. Because in the beginning, I made a lot of mistakes. Publicly, you could see, and that's the funniest part as my stacking journey goes on, is my entire journey through silver stacking has been public. Since 2016, you can go back, click my channel, go to my videos, go oldest to newest, and you will see me, a young silver slayer, just starting out stacking back in 2016, 2017, back in, I'm young in my early 20s, and I'm buying a lot of different types of stuff that I really didn't understand why I was buying it. I was heavily influenced by certain stacking channels, but I really didn't have an idea of what I was doing. Now, it's fine. I should have started with Bullion, though, cheaper stuff. But as you will see, a lot of my stuff were very high premium pandas, and I was buying kookaburras, and I was buying slabbed coins and sets and series and the Queen's Beast series. Go look. I have 31 different unboxing videos on my channel. You can watch 31. It's 6 hours of videos, because I made a compilation in one video. It's one 6-hour video of all the silver unboxings I've done. 31 different unboxing videos, and most of those unboxings you will see are extremely high premium coins, where I'm stacking for the long term. I'm a long hauler, so the point of me stacking silver for its intrinsic value, the wealth it has as the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity, the industrial side, that is gone straight out the window when I'm buying high premium coins looking for a specific buyer. Not even so, that's still considered bullion. But the point is that it's also sold for a collectibility aspect, because the design changes every year, lower mintage numbers, maybe it's a set or a series like the Lunar Series 2 like I love, or the Queen's Beast series. So once you start to get a feel of how the market works or what makes these coins valuable, then you can do that. But in the beginning, I always say try to buy as much silver as you can for as cheap as possible, which is rounds, which is maybe eagles if you want to add some coins to your stack instead of just a round from a private mint, especially if you're a prepper, because if you're going to trade or barter with someone, and let's say that barter, the person you're going to trade with isn't a silver stacker, they've probably never heard of Sunshine Mint. They don't know what Sunshine Mint is, right? But if you try to trade an American Eagle, or even just any actual coin, a government-backed coin that was legal tender, it's a lot easier to trust that. But not only that, it does bring legitimacy. but it's a little more expensive, so it's give or take here or there. But also, if you are a prepper, constitutional silver is right up your alley because it's fractional. Let's say you're in a trade or barter with someone for something that's not worth a full ounce, but all you have are ounces. What are you going to do? Take a chainsaw to your 1 ounce coin? No. That's where fractional silver plays. But fractional rounds cost a lot. The premiums are extremely high because they still have to make the die. They still have to stamp those rounds or the fractional rounds. And since they're so, the weight is so small, they have to add higher premiums. So a perfect way to stack fractional and also add some other benefits beyond that is junk silver. A 10th ounce round is just like a mercury dime, right? A 4th ounce round is just like a quarter. A half ounce round is just like a walking Liberty $half. See what I'm saying? Plus, junk silver has benefits beyond just those things. It's a piece of American history. Stop making it 1965, it's pre-1965 stuff, and they can grow some numismatic value on top of itself. And you'll hear me, I made a video back in 2017. It's titled, Why Junk Silver? Just question mark, just why junk silver? It shows, I have a little treasure chest, a whole bunch of junk silver in it. Video has, I think, a decent amount of views, but you see me in that video talking about this exact thing. And back then, junk silver was called junk because it was so cheap. And I was saying, this stuff is going to start growing numismatic value as the years go on. And now look what happened. Junk silver isn't called junk anymore because it is more pricey, but it will still keep growing value. It's becoming detached from spot price, which is another area I wanted to talk about. Sorry if I'm going to be a little bit of sporadic or all over the place in this video, but I'm going off the head, and there's with this type of stuff, or the vast the vast wealth of knowledge I have for all these different types of stacking, I can't write a script for this, and you shouldn't have to. Right? Especially if you're, I guess it doesn't matter. Some people better writing scripts. I like just naturally going off the head. But let's keep sticking to the script, pun intended. So there's going to be a lot of people that just buy silver for as cheap as possible, which I agree with in the beginning, because you are cutting down your dollar per ounce average. Now, my point of what I was just talking about is coming. It's important. But let's say that silver stays $23 for the next 10 years and your entire stack's pegged to spot price. That means in 10 years, if silver is still $23, your stack has not appreciated a single penny. Now, the dollar will have drastically depreciated in purchasing power, so you still have, put your money in a time capsule, and the chance of that happening, $23 in 10 years, highly unlikely, but you see what I'm saying is it's at the mercy of spot price. Your entire stack's at the mercy of spot price. But let's say you have constitutional silver. Let's say you have some pandas, some kookaburras, some Lunar Series 2. Those coins are detached from spot price because regardless of what spot price does, those coins will start doubling, tripling in value as they grow collectibility. So they're a little more pricey, but there is a safety net as they will grow in value. Now, not all of them, and some of them to different extents. And then you also have to talk about condition, because condition plays a huge part when you're talking about high premium, aka semi-numismatic coins, which, by the way, if you don't know, let's pretend this is a beginner. Bullion is sold strictly for the metal content. Numismatic is the exact opposite. No metal content, just the coin. Semi-numismatic are coins like pandas, kookaburras, koalas, Lunar Series, Queen Bee Series, because the design changes every year for those coins. So they're more collectible, whereas a coin like an American Eagle or a Maple Leaf or a Krugerrand, those coins stay the same every year. Very boring mintage numbers in the tens of millions, where a panda, around 8 million a year. Kookaburra, only 300 to 500,000 a year. And those coins, the design changes yearly. So there's a little bit of a numismatic value because they're collectible over time. So those coins grow in value regardless of what spot price is doing. Now, the markets do change year by year a little bit. So this isn't always set, just like American Eagles back in 2020, where there was extremely high premiums for no reason. I mean, it's a rabbit hole. There's a couple different reasons, but and now the premiums are back down again. So markets do change, but this is generally how things work. But if you don't know what determines a coin's value, then you shouldn't be dabbling in those waters yet. And that's going back to what I said, just buy cheap silver, add weight to your stack, and then after a year or so, once you start educating yourself, start watching more of my videos, then you start learning more, and then you can branch off into some riskier stuff and diversify. It's not rocket science, but there is a lot to it if you want to put together a wise strategy. Now, you could just be someone who's maybe you're just a simple person. Maybe you don't like complicating things. Maybe you don't want to overwhelm yourself and you just want to buy Eagles. All you do is just buy Eagles. Great coin, especially if you live in America. The most recognizable coin in the world. Relatively cheap premiums right now. Great, just buy tubes of Eagles. Bam. Life is simple, right? Great coin. Can't go wrong. But some people like a little bit about diversity. And the cool thing about me being a broker is I get to talk to so many different people, and they'll ask me questions about what I think, or I'll help them pick out, their next purchase, or they'll tell me about their stack or what they like. And a lot of people, they have some flavor too, right? They don't just want 100-ounce bars and that's it. Yes, that might be a great way to get a bigger bang for your buck and just get as much for as cheap, but that gets a little mundane. It can be a little boring. Some people like to add some flavor, maybe get some type of some, I don't know, whatever. Like me, I like the Lunar Series 2 coins. A very, very expensive series. The most, I would say the most rare. You can't even say rare. It's just one of the hardest series to collect because the coins are so rare, and when you do find one, it's so expensive. You have to. It's like winning the lottery. Sometimes you might find a price and it's worth it, but then the coin's gone. Like the Lunar Series 2, one of my favorite series. I have a lot of the years, but some of those coins, $100+ just for a single coin out of that series. Now, not saying that's something you should do, but something I like. And I just like that series. I like the way it looks. Or slabbed coins, like my PF70 Ultra Cameo Moon Festival Panda. That coin has a mintage number of 1900, but even less are PF70 Ultra Cameo, because they also have the gem proof. So that coin is going to skyrocket in value as the years goes on. And it has. Just like the Rwanda Rooster 2017. I knew that coin would do good. I bought it. I talked about it in a video. And what do you know? Look at the coin's price now. It's tripled, maybe even quadrupled in price now. But that doesn't happen with every coin that's expensive. You have to know what gives a coin value. And it depends on the coin, actually. So, I don't know. I kind of went rambling at the end there, but it all was relevant and it made sense. But I wanted to, I guess, cover this article now. We're 20 minutes into the video. I'm just now covering the article, but let's check this out, because they talk about bars, long-term value preservation of bars, and I want to see what they have to say, because I did want to know if you like bars or you like coins, or both, and why. So investing in precious metals like silver can be a great way to preserve and grow your wealth over time. Silver in particular has proven to maintain its value well and even increase in value during periods of economic uncertainty and inflation. So they talk about silver for preservation. So characteristics of silver that allow for long-term value preservation. Silver has intrinsic qualities that make it uniquely well suited for holding its value over periods. It's been money for millennia, multiple industrial uses, finite supply. There's only so much, and the amount of silver recoverable in the Earth's crust is limited. And then supply constraints tend to underpin long-term price floors. And I want to ask you another question. Actually, just popped up. 2 questions. First one. What price would you be willing to sell at if you ever were going to sell someday? What price would you throw in the towel and say, okay, I'm ready to capitalize? Is it $100? Is it $50? Is it $200? What is it? Maybe it's never, but I know some people say I'm never going to sell, but if you were going to, just for the point of the question, what price would it be? But we could also flip that. What's the highest price you would stop buying silver? When it's $50, are you going to stop buying? Say, I'm cool, I'm just going to hold off and let it rise until I sell. But also, how long until you're going to sell? 5 years? Next year? 10 years? I know some of you are going to say never, but just look at it like a question that you had to answer. I don't plan on selling for another 20, 30 years if I'm going to sell, because I'm only 31 years old. So what's the point of me selling now or selling in 5 years? I'll be 36. And then what am I going to do until I'm 50 something? Just not stack? No. I mean, one, I love silver itself. I'm going to keep stacking these coins regardless. But I also, it wouldn't make sense, because especially if the dollar still exists in 5 years, what would be the point of trading fake money back to real money, or real money back to fake money? Unless, I mean, who knows in 5 years what the world would be like, but you see what I'm saying, though. So, I like this. Silver bars carry no counterparty risk. They don't rely on a promise to pay from any institution whose solvency could be doubted. There's not a liability for any party that could fail to make good on obligations, right? There's no management fees. I mean, you are in complete control. You're in complete control. But you also have to remember that could also be dangerous, because you are in complete control. So, if your stuff gets stolen, or you could also mess up yourself. Storage is something that storage and security is something that I probably don't talk about enough. Do you have silica gel packs or tarnish strips in your safe using dehumidifiers? Are you using gloves? Do you have capsules or coin flips or coin pouches? How are you storing your coins? Touch it with your bare hands. There's a lot that goes into that as well. So, anyways, yeah. I'm going to wrap this video up here. Very long. Hope you enjoyed it, though. It's definitely a different type of video that apart from what I normally do, but I like it. This is my passion. Like, this is the stuff I love talking about. It's important to talk about what's happening in the economy, and, what's happening geopolitically and what Russia's doing. But this stuff, these videos, as you probably can tell, what I really love talking about. But they just don't get anywhere near as many views. People like drama. They want to know what's going on around the world. But there are a lot of new stackers that need to start. You got to be able to crawl before you can walk, and this stuff's important. So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.